Over the last year or so, I have done quite a few mini PC reviews, but today I get to do one that is a little bit different because I'm finally getting to take a look at a Ryzen 7 mini PC. This has the 5700U with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. Now, this mini PC from ACEMAGIC, which they provided to me for this review, comes in at $459, although I would encourage you to use this $91 coupon down there at the bottom. I think might be a fairly reasonable price for a device like this. Although there's not a whole lot else in the box, it does come with a bracket to mount this mini PC to the back of a monitor, in addition to an HDMI cable and, of course, the power supply. The setup process is your basic standard Windows 11 setup, but there was one thing about this mini PC that I actually really enjoyed. You see, it has a USB-C port right here on the front of the device, and what that allowed me to do was kind of be a little bit lazy. I have a portable touchscreen monitor that I plugged into this USB-C port, and this port powered the monitor, and it actually allowed that monitor to function as a touchscreen. So as I went through my setup, I didn't even have a mouse or keyboard paired. I just did it all with the touchscreen, and again, that was pretty cool. Beyond that, you're going to find a pretty standard Windows installation. As you can see here, I've still got 653 gigabytes of free space, and I've got a couple of things already installed. I've installed my standard browser on here as well as Steam. So I just ran this Crystal Disk Mark test, which is basically going to help us understand the read and write speed of this SSD. And look, guys, for a little mini PC, it's pretty much exactly what I get every time I do this. It's fine. You are going to notice from time to time that things maybe could be a bit faster if you had a faster hard drive. For a point of reference, we'll look at my actual personal computer that I film and edit with. And what you're going to see is that it is, orders of magnitude faster. It's not fully done going through this test, I guess, but you can see what's already on there. It's a lot faster. Just keep in mind that we are comparing my M.2 drive to this little mini PC. What this thing is and what you're probably going to be using it for, I think that it is reasonably fast. It's nothing crazy for sure, but it's going to be able to do the job just fine as a multimedia device. You can see here, let's fire up YouTube, make sure this is muted. It's going to run everything just fine, no problems at all. Honestly, like a lot of mini PCs, multimedia is really where this thing is going to be at home, running Netflix or YouTube or Hulu, things like that. It's going to be really, really good at. For my basic use on my computer, a lot of the time, all I'm doing is I'm keeping up with news, and it's going to be just fine for that kind of stuff. Jumping around inside your web browser, let's open this up in another tab. You can see it's pretty snappy, guys, for this basic kind of stuff, word processing, basic work, things like that. It's going to do really quite well. But there was one thing about this being a Ryzen 7 processor that I really wanted to test, and that was gaming. The Intel processors like the N95 or the N100 or the N150, they really can't do much gaming. Let's find out if this Ryzen 7 is any different. So we've pulled up Rocket League here, full 1920 by 1080. You can see that my settings are pretty decent. It's like mostly maxed out, and pay attention to the FPS counter up here in the top left-hand corner. I'm just playing offline, but still, you can see here, guys, I am cruising at a solid upper 50s, close to 60 FPS with the graphics looking quite good. Haven't played Rocket League in a little while. Let's see if we can get a goal. This arena is actually insane looking. I've never seen this before in my life. Boom, there it is. Here's another game that I've tested on some of these mini PCs, and it never goes particularly well. It is called Valheim, and we are getting like mid-teens FPS. So let's go ahead and jump into the settings, and let's see what we can do about this. You can see right now we're just on balanced. So let's go ahead and drop it down to very low. And now we are in the mid-40s. Obviously, we're getting some screen tearing, and things do look a little bit worse, but nonetheless, there we are. Let's put this render scale back up to 100%, or automatic, I guess, is the option there. And let's go ahead and turn on VSync just to make this look a little bit better. So now we're in the upper 20s, not quite hitting 30 consistently, but we're really, really close. Let's drop the resolution down to 720p. Obviously, things are going to look quite a bit worse now, but now we are getting in the upper 30s on the FPS. I keep hitting the wrong button there. And I think that things look pretty okay still. We could probably still jump into our settings and turn up a few things. Like, let's go to balanced, but stay at 720p and see what that gets us. Ideally, we get a playable 30 FPS with some graphics that look a little bit less offensive, and I think that that's what we have here. I would say that this is approaching playable, and you could maybe get in here and tweak things a little bit more and have a pretty decent experience with Valheim. Much better than I've seen on any other mini PC I've tested so far. Intel processors like the N150. This Ryzen is absolutely dog-walking it. Here's a pretty fun game called Zombieville 3D or something like that, and it's running in the mid-20s. Let's jump into the options once again, and we'll just drop things down to medium, and now we're up over 30 FPS, and this feels like it is playing just fine. So I would definitely say that, you know, kind of more basic games, lighter weight games like this, even games like Valheim, with the appropriate, I tried to say appropriate and proper at the same time, and I created a brand new word. With the proper, appropriate settings, those games are going to actually be playable on a device like this. Pretty darn impressive. And it's all the more impressive when you recognize just how tiny these little mini PCs are. Like I alluded to in the beginning, there's your little couple of mounting screws. You could hide this thing behind your monitor and no one would ever know that it was there. And yet it's capable of doing quite a bit. And I would say quite a bit more than those Intel mini PCs that I have tested in the past. Something else that I think is definitely worth testing and talking about is the networking speed. Now, I do have a 1 gig network connection, and this is sitting about 6 or 7 feet away from my Wi-Fi 7 router, and these are the speeds that I am getting, about 400 down and about 400 up, which for Wi-Fi is honestly not too bad. Although it's worth pointing out that this is only using Wi-Fi 6. Not super shocking that it doesn't have Wi-Fi 7, but hey, Wi-Fi 6 is not bad. Although it is worth pointing out this does only have Wi-Fi 6. You're not going to be able to take full advantage of the newest Wi-Fi standard, but of course Wi-Fi 6 is still pretty darn solid. So what do we have here sort of in conclusion? For $459, or if you are lucky enough to be seeing this when this coupon is still here, what would that be, $368? I think we have a mini PC that looks pretty good, would be fairly easy to hide. I think it would serve beautifully as a media center. Plug this thing into your TV, get yourself like a little miniature wireless mouse and keyboard type setup, and you could absolutely do it that way. Pair a Bluetooth controller to it and treat it like a game console. You're going to be able to do some light gaming, absolutely, for sure. That is going to be the case, as I think I've demonstrated here to you. If you want to stream games to it, that should also be absolutely fine. I think that this is a pretty solid setup. If you want to check one out yourself, I'll put an affiliate link in the description down below. If you click on that link and then you make a purchase on Amazon, I will earn commission from that purchase. And it's a great free way for you to help support the channel. Thanks to ACEMAGIC for sending this PC out for me to review. As with all of my reviews, they had no editorial input and they are seeing this video at the exact same time as everyone else. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.